So maybe don't be a junior developer. Here's the thing. Junior developers are inherently risky in every single industry, by the way. This is not unique to software engineering or anything like that. Being new is a risk. My mom recently tried to get a job at Starbucks. This is after decades of working for a very large bank where she worked her way up from secretary all the way into the executive suite. And she wanted to get a little extra money in retirement, so she went to Starbucks. They turned her down. And you might be thinking, what? Well, if you can do that job, then why wouldn't they hire you at Starbucks? If I walked into Starbucks right now, being an engineering manager, being a senior software engineer, having nearly a decade of experience working in software and managing teams of people, do you think they would just look at me and say, yeah, you're hired? Have you ever made coffee before? No. What do you know about coffee? Not much. I know how to order it. Do you think that they're going to feel comfortable taking a chance on me? And if they do, what do you think the top level that I would be able to achieve there is off the bat? Do you think they'd put me at the bottom rank or at the top rank? Probably at the very bottom, right? This is the reality of switching careers. And you might be saying, well, I am junior. Yeah, I get it. Just bear with me here a little bit. The word junior is so subjective that it's nearly meaningless, right? It basically boils down to, are you somebody that has so little practical experience that you can't really be trusted to do anything on your own? You need significant handholding for months, maybe even a year. You need to take on really easy assignments, and you're not going to contribute much. But here's the thing. Every single developer is going to be junior when they first join a company, unless they're already very senior, right? So unless you're super senior, you're going to be pretty junior when you start. And if you're going to a new tech stack or just doing something very different, you're probably going to be a little more on the junior side, even if you have years of experience. So I don't think that you need to be like a mid-level developer to be a safe hire, even though this is what companies essentially want nowadays. You just need to avoid the telltale signs that you are, in fact, a junior. So how do you do that? When I go on LinkedIn and people will send me their resume or their LinkedIn and they'll say, hey, tell me what's wrong with this thing. And I'm like, I can just tell you my opinion based on being a software engineer, looking at tons of resumes and looking through lots of LinkedIn profiles, that here are some big red flags you probably want to remove. And if you're a recruiter and you're in the comments, please let me know if I'm right or I'm way off base here. But I look at these things as red flags saying, I'm a junior, I'm aspiring, I'm learning. I want to be the thing that you are hiring me for. Would you hire a junior dentist or a junior heart doctor? Would you hire a junior mechanic to fix your car? You probably wouldn't. Why do you need to tell people this stuff? It's really none of their business in the first place and probably doesn't help you in any regard at all. I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to show your enthusiasm and you want to say, hey, I'm learning and I'm really excited to learn. But in today's market where there is basically evenness between the amount of talent and the amount of jobs, maybe a little bit skewed in either direction, not greatly as people would have you believe. There's still about as many jobs as software developers out there, real software developers, not people that can just write some HTML and CSS. I'm talking about people with actual skills that are looking for work. The amount of jobs for these people is about even. So because this is about even, and it's not greatly skewed where the number of jobs is so disproportionate to the number of developers that are out there, no one really wants to take a chance on you like they did back in the pandemic hiring spree. That was a really brief amount of time when you had so many jobs out there and so few developers that people would just pay whatever and take whoever just to keep the lights on and keep the money coming in, right? Those times are over. They probably won't come back. I hope they don't come back under a pandemic again. Hopefully they come back under different conditions. Looks like AI may set off another huge cycle of this happening in the next couple of years. We will see, right? So don't say aspiring, junior, learning. Don't talk about the project from your school or your boot camp. Talk about the app or the website that you're launching. So yeah, you need to have a side project. There's tons of tutorials out there. I have videos on this, articles on this kind of stuff. Make a side project, potentially turn it into a side business, create an LLC, hire yourself, put your job title as software engineer. Voila, now you have some actual experience. Use strong language about your experience. Instead of saying, I made a full stack app using the MERN stack, say I migrated a JavaScript app to TypeScript to improve developer experience and type safety and velocity, which improved by X%. It can be quantitative, it can be qualitative, meaning either you have some hard metrics like you improve the site experience and the load time by X amount of seconds, or you allow developers to confidently work faster by having a suite of tests that tested the most critical paths in your app. Who are those developers you're talking about? They could just be you. Does it really matter? If you're working at a startup where you're getting paid and there's only two developers on the team, does that make it any different than working for yourself on a team of one? It depends on how you decide to package and sell yourself as a developer. I'm not telling you to lie. If you do, that's a really quick path towards failure. But I'm also just telling you what I would be doing if I was you trying to get that job and how to de risk yourself on the internet. Me and my partner Zubin talk about this a lot in our program, parsity.io/inner-circle. If you're interested in joining and not just learning how to code, but actually how to transition into a different career, join us. Hopefully that's helpful. See you around.